Alright, welcome to this episode, wet engineering topic, safety, focusing on PPE, personal protective equipment. Hi. So, personal protective equipment. One thing being a welding engineer is you're constantly tasked with other types of jobs out there, whether it's engineering or not. It's safety, everybody's got to be safe with what they're working on. So I've recently been talking with Lincoln Electric, and they were generous enough to donate a kind of their safety kit to me. And so I just kind of wanted to A, give them a shout out, and B, go over some safety items with when it comes to welding. So it does always help when you're on the road and you're traveling and to have some sort of bag that you can, carry all of your gear in. So that's always nice. Then there's always your welding jacket. Now, most of the cloth jackets are like 100% cotton, and they're treated so that they're FR rated, so fire resistant. And most of the time, it'll have a stamp that will, or a print that will kind of insinuate that it is treated that way. Now, as far as welding jackets go, there are lots of different types, and it's going to depend on what you're welding. I mean, if you're just doing some automotive welding, you should never do what you see on TV and just use the method, pull the trigger, don't look, don't do that, that'll hurt you. Or there's just lots of stuff you see on TV that you shouldn't do. Just like, oh, it's just a little weld. But so you got your coat, and what different types of coats are there? It's like, well, if you're doing light auto body, a coat like this, great. You might even, depending on if you're what type of welding process you're using, you might just use sleeves. They make some sleeves so that, say your regular, if you're wearing a flannel shirt or something, that's acceptable. Then there's also cotton for your torso and leather for your on the sleeves and jackets like that for a little bit, like a medium duty type welding. And then if you're really into the nitty gritty and you're getting dirty and doing heavy welding, then you get up into full leathers. And there's also things to think about, like the way the collars work out, a lot of it's a typical collar, and that's fine for most applications, but some of the collars have like a Velcro up here that really give you a tight seal around your neck when you do some overhead welding, or you're stuck underneath a car working on exhaust. Sometimes that's nice. It's that little extra protection that keeps you from getting burnt. So there's also these a do-rag. Now, a do-rag, it's not just the stylish motorcycle deal. It's when you have your welding hood on, there's sparks that go up and they come down, and for some of us it doesn't really hit hair anymore, but it's all right, it's acceptable. So you get yourself a do-rag, and you know what, these things, you can pay for them. They come in all different varieties, or most of the time you can go to like a trade show or something, and you can get these things. They're giving these away like free pens, I tell you. It's really not that hard to get them, and a lot of different styles again, but they all serve basically the same purpose. All right, so then I'm going to point out their kit came with some safety glasses, and I actually have not on, and for this video I probably won't put them on, but I have a couple different pairs of prescription safety glasses so I don't really get to use the safety glasses anymore, but that's all right. My wife can use them. Yeah, I mean, safety glasses. She works in the ortho field, so she uses safety glasses all the time too. So it's good. So another thing that they got is, you know, like a good medium to heavy set of gloves, and I guess I'm going to just go with the, you know, the medium to heavy set, saying that yeah, you can do heavy duty welding with these, but if you're up in the 300, 350 amps all day, this is not going to cut it. You're going to want a heat shield, and you're going to want just a little bit more. They're cotton insulated, but there are better out there if that's what you're going with. And welding processes, depending on what you're doing, you got all sorts of different options available to you. Like, they've also included this set of, it's like, I guess it's leather, and I'd give it I'd say kind of like a high dexterity type glove, where, I mean, you're not in an application where you're expecting high heat to come back at your hand, and so this type of glove will work just fine. I mean, you're definitely not going to pick anything. You should never pick up metal with any type of glove. It don't matter what you're wearing. But this type of glove works as good, probably a good TIG welding glove. I wouldn't, maybe some light duty exhaust work or something with the MIG welder, but I would not stick weld with this, and I would not do any sort of heavy amperage welding with this type of glove. I say it's good with TIG, and you know, it's got a lot of good dexterity to it. And that'll bring me to another thing when it comes with gloves, is gloves have different uses for every type of glove. So if you look at these big gloves versus this glove, yeah, surely this big glove is it's like it'll protect you from heat for TIG welding, but you're not gonna be able to handle the torch worth a dang, are you? So it's, you know, there's pros and cons no matter which way you look at it, and so that's a way of choosing effective personal protective equipment, or PPE. So then, I guess one of the final cool items that Lincoln Electric donated in this kit was one of the Viking helmets, and it's 1840 series Viking auto darkening helmet. It has a standby solar charge. It's got 2 sensors that I can see. It breaks apart fairly easy. I think the headgear on it is pretty phenomenal, actually. I mean, everybody's got their own taste, but it's got a really nice padded and ratcheting head system, adjustable in 2 locations, plus for like the height that you want it on your head, and then how far forward and stuff you want it on your face. It's also got this adjustment, I don't know how I can get this in view, this adjustment here, and that's adjustments on most headgear units, where what it's letting you do is how far the hood ratchets down when you have it on. And so that, I mean, you want it to be so that it drops down and you can comfortably see what you're doing. If it drops down too far, you can't see. Doesn't drop down far enough, you can't see, then what good is it? So you got to have some way to adjust that. And so this right here, this is just great for me. You know, it's good adjustment. You can adjust the tension knob down here also. See where it drops down to. So, and it's always good. Now, again, like anything else, helmets come in all sorts of brands, sizes, varieties. I'm almost excited about trying this out. I haven't even struck arc number 1 with it, and it's because it kind of, to me, has I think of it as like the old Jackson helmet profile where like this lip down here and whatnot. The only thing that really I don't know about right now is that the knob on the outside, though it is continuous, that's the knob that controls the shade, and it does have a grind setting, which grind setting is always nice to have. It eliminates the need to have another face shield in the shop and everything. You just have it all right there. But I've always looked at some of the helmets that have this feature, and it's kind of on the outside. Just seems like something that's exposed and can be broke, but hey, I don't know. We'll see. So I just want to kind of go through some other helmets, and this is my original Huntsman that I had when I started welding in high school, and this thing, let's see, Huntsman 951P. I've clearly given it a crappy paint job, and at first I started with some silver solid 10 lenses or gold lenses, and you get different effects with these lenses, and that is something that I have yet to see in the technology of auto darkening lenses that I would really like to see. So there is always a good standby to be able to go back to those types of lenses. So then I actually ended up getting a insert that I can pick out for this helmet real quick. Yeah, like I had this little insert that it goes into the helmet. Hey, no problems. It has that 2 sensors and that solar panel thing. What I like about this though is all of the features are on the inside: your shade, your delay, and your sensitivity. So it's adjustable from 9 to 12, but this one clearly doesn't have a grind mode. And hey, I think I paid $100 for this, I don't know how many years ago, and it's not letting me. I'm really satisfied with it. The only thing that I can say that with only having the 2 sensors below the shield is that sometimes you're working on a restriction, and it's like you got a restriction right here, and so the light, and it doesn't switch, so it's kind of annoying. You get a little bit of flash at first, and so then it's like, oh, you take the helmet apart and you just flip it upside down. And in fact, I think this thing was upside down the majority of the time in my helmet because it puts the sensors, above my eye level. And so there's a solution there. Alright, so some other types of PPE. Steel toe boots. If not steel toe, they make the nice polycarbonate ones that pass those things. If your shop requires it, you got metatarsals. I mean, the most organized shops today, they have a safety department that says you have to have this, 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 and this. No exceptions whatsoever. So we're out there, and that's why I say it's like, as a welding engineer, it's not only your job to tell them how to weld stuff or come up with welding procedures and do welding PQR tests and things, but you also are somebody that people are going to come to you and say, it's like, well, what do you think about safety and this and that? So that's why welding engineering topic number 6 is all about safety and the PPE that you are required, or not always required, but should use while welding. So I guess at that note, just stay safe. If you like it, comment, subscribe. Thank you.